Hello guys and welcome back to another video on my channel. Now today I'm doing a player awards video for Luton Town, of course. I've been telling you guys my player of the season, my most improved player, most underrated player of the season as well. Let me know down in the video comments who your player of the season is. Well, for every award I talk about, let me know who you would have gave that award to down in the video comments of this video. So let's get started with the video and let's talk about my player of the season. And for me, no one comes close to this. You know, there's a few players who've had great seasons, don't get me wrong, but this player, I don't think Luton would have finished 12th in the championship without him. And that player is obviously Dewsbury-Hall. When you watch him, you could just tell he is levels above majority of our squad. The way he passes the ball, his dribbling ability, the amount of chances he created throughout the season. Honestly, if he had better players around him, he obviously would have done a lot better. He's just incredible. Obviously, I would love to have him back next season, but I think that is very unlikely. I think Leicester will evaluate him and see where he's at. Is he good enough to play for them? Should they put him out on loan again to a bottom half Premier League side, or will they send him out on loan to the Championship? Who knows, but honestly I would love to have him back. But what a player Dewsbury-Hall is. Just what he's done for Luton. Like 2 games which stand out for me. Bournemouth away when he was just unplayable, you know. You just couldn't get near him. And that was against Bournemouth at their place. And then Bristol City at home. He was incredible that day as well. I think those 2 performances just show what type of player he is and the ability he has on that pitch. And I'm going to miss him next year. We're going to have to replace him. It's going to be hard, but we need to find a way. But Dewsbury-Hall, his performances, his consistent performances throughout the season, he deserves this award. He is my player of the season. The next award we are going to talk about is most improved player. Now, obviously, the players that have come in from this season, I'm not really going to mention them as part of this award. I'm going to be looking at the players that have been with Luton for the last 2 seasons. So, obviously, the season just gone and the year before. And this player, I think, has improved massively. I went from not being confident about him to now I'm actually, I believe in him. I'm comfortable when he's on the ball, when he's in the box, and that is Simeon Sluga. Sluga has been amazing this season. The amount of clean sheets he's kept this season has been incredible. The saves as well. I don't remember any mistakes, and that's something which is a good thing, because you don't, I feel like with fans, we always remember those mistakes. You know, I remember in the first season in the Championship, Sluga on his debut, that mistake there against Derby. This season, well, the season just gone, I can't remember any mistakes Sluga made. I think there was one game where he just dropped the ball, or he could have done a little bit better, but I can't remember, and that's a good thing. Sluga has been brilliant. I think he's, distribution, his long throws, his kicking, everything about Sluga has improved, and he is now, I believe, is worth the money which we paid for. We've clearly seen that this season. And for that reason, Sluga has won my most improved player. Next up, we have goal of the season. Now, we haven't scored many goals throughout the season, so there's not many to actually pick from in terms of goals of the season, incredible goals. But the one that stands out for me is the away game against Wycombe, Lawalawa strike. To help us go 2-1 up at that point during the game. That goal was incredible, a very good goal by him, and for that reason, it's my goal of the season. Next up we have is best signing. Now, this one is going to maybe cause a few debates in the video comments, but I'm giving it to a player that's been at Luton throughout the whole season, and that player is Clark. Now, Clark, for me, has been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. From a player who came from Accrington Stanley, we weren't expecting much from him, for that reason. But on paper, he was a good signing, he fit the bill for Luton. He's played in so many different positions, right back, left back, centre mid, cam, on the right, on the left. He's scored goals, he's provided chances. He's a bit like Naismith, he can play in a variety of positions, but he's been brilliant. And for a free transfer, he's been incredible. And I feel like he deserves a lot of praise. In the cup games, he's performed well. I think everything about him, he's been so useful. And without him, especially in the first 6 months, I think Luton would have had a few problems if we didn't have a player like Clark within the team. You know, he fits the bill. You know, he slots in positions very well. You can hardly tell that when he plays right back that he isn't a right back. He plays it so well. So for that reason, I'm giving best signing to Clark. Now, you can obviously throw a few players in there like Lockyer, Naismith, Adebayo. But for me, Clark, without him in the first 6 months, I think Luton would have struggled to get certain points on the board. So yeah, I'm giving it to Clark. Next up we have is underrated player. Just like the best signing award, I do think underrated player. I think a few people will debate about this, but my underrated player of the season goes to Tom Lockyer. It took a while for supporters to realise how good of a defender Tom Lockyer is. He's a Wales international. He didn't get thrown straight into the starting 11 like at the beginning. You know, he had to earn the trust of Nathan Jones. And when he did, you just couldn't drop him. You just couldn't replace him, really. And he played up until the point he got injured, which when he did get injured, you just knew that the team at the back just wasn't the same team without Tom Lockyer. Lockyer, for me, brilliant centre-half. I'm looking forward to seeing him next season. I don't know who's going to be his centre-back partner next season, because I do think we will recruit another centre-back. But what a great season he has had. I personally think fans took a while to obviously realise how good he was, like I've said. And for that reason, he's my underrated player of the season. Moving on to the next award, which we are going to talk about. We are going to talk about an award which no player wants to receive this. And to be fair, there's not many players I can actually pick for this award due to the fact that Luton have had a great season, and that is worst player of the season. Now, I'm going to give it to a player that's been at Luton throughout the whole season, and that is Sam Nombe. Now, Nombe, he's had chances from the bench to show what he's capable of. He's had Nathan Jones come out in the press and say he needs to do more in training. And it's quite clear that he probably didn't have the right attitude to do what Nathan Jones wanted from him. And he didn't do well, did he, you know, throughout the whole season. I could throw Danny Hilton in this category, but I feel like Danny Hilton did more than what Sam Nombe did. And yeah, Nombe missed a lot of big chances. I feel like we could have recruited someone better. I think Adebayo, he proved that even though he came from League 2, that he was able to make the step up, where Nombe came from League 1 and he couldn't prove that he was good enough. So for that reason, I'm going to give it to Sam Nombe. Next up we have is Young Player of the Season. Now, we don't have many youngsters within our within our squad really, but I am going to give it to a player that's only been at Luton for half the season, and that is Elijah Adebayo. Adebayo, 23 years old. The step up from League 2 to Championship, he's proved to everyone that he can make that step up. He causes so many problems for Championship defenders. He's scored goals, he's scored important goals in fact. And what a player we have for the future. He's definitely showing at this moment in time why we paid the money for him. So for that reason, he is my Young Player of the Season. And the last award, which we are going to talk about, is Best Individual Performance. Now, this award will go to a player that's had the best individual performance throughout the season. So one player I thought of straight away for this award, and that player is James Collins. I'm giving this award to James Collins because his hat-trick against Preston North End at home was fantastic. It was a brilliant performance, individual performance by him. Yes, the team also performed well, but that day, Collins was a different animal. He proved that he can play at the Championship. He can score goals at this level. The way he was about on the pitch was brilliant. The way he beat players, you know, he had that drive to score goals, and we haven't quite seen that often throughout the season from James Collins. But that's the James Collins which we all know and we all love. We want that James Collins that played against Preston North End, the one which was so hard to play against. You know, his finishing that day was brilliant as well. The best individual performance for me goes to James Collins. So guys, that is the end of the video. Hopefully you did enjoy this player awards video. Let me know down below in the video comments who you think deserve these awards. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.